Finally, after all these years, it's all coming back together. What in the hell March is Command & Conquer? It's the game series that established a domination of RTS genre that lasted for almost 15 years, since 1995 till approximately 2010. My first RTS game was Red Alert. In the late 90s, when I was a kid, I visited Dad's workplace for a few times. His PC had a few games installed. Among them was this beauty. My first question when I tried it out was, does a soldier engages enemy automatically? Well, kinda. Red Alert fascinated me. Probably it is the game that made me love RTS so much. That's why I will never forgive EA what they did. They've taken one of my favorite game developers, Westwood Studios. At least we've got a remaster, right? In the package we've got both the very first Command & Conquer game from Tiberium Saga and Red Alert. What does Remaster brings us? Graphics. Of course, 26-year-old game needed an upgrade. The reason not pixels itself. I love pixel art, but there is a big difference between modern pixel art and old pixelated or voxel style visuals. They are blurred. Sometimes it's really physically painful for eyes to look at it. In the remaster, visuals became more cartoonish, but you could notice the improvement. If you don't like it, there is an option to switch between the old and the new version. We also got a new native 1920 by 1080 resolution, but most importantly, we've got a proper zoom. With patches, Red Alert 2 also could be played with this resolution, although you can't change the scale of your view. It's really hard to see things this way, they are too small. Most of the time you spend in game, you just trying to find that one unit or needed building. Same with the user interface. Remaster fixed these problems. The new version also makes a few gameplay changes. For example, now to capture enemy buildings, you need to damage them first. The most work by far was done with the sound. Original composer Frank Klepacki joined the developer team, so they remastered all tracks and added a few new ones. Here's where you could use in handy jukebox, where you can sort all this music and even create your own playlists. Voice lines also have been updated. Bonus gallery is another feature, where you could find additional materials about the original games. Videos, clips, b-rolls, how the cutscenes were created. I genuinely enjoyed watching this stuff, highly recommend to check it out. Steam version also allows you to download mods. Most of them are just additional maps, but still you could find a few cool ones. In addition, Remaster makes a couple of minor changes, like skirmish mode for Command & Conquer, ranked system for the multiplayer, mission selection screen for the campaigns, and so on. There are not that many changes, but this is a thing for a series that came out 26 years ago. All in all, I think this remaster is good. The main question is how game itself holds up. Does it still valid? It feels a bit outdated, not in general, but in terms of factions balance and variability. After Red Alert 2, Generals, Tiberium Wars, where you could defeat your opponent in a lot of ways, here your hands are tied. 90% of the time you will build one or two types of tanks and send them to the enemy base. Soviet side has good armored units, but Allies oriented for water warfare, and water on the local maps is rather a rare sight. Game is significantly harder for them. In all other terms, game still holds up. Unique base construction feels cool. Campaigns is quite a challenge to complete, even now, especially on harder difficulty, although I prefer Red Alert more. Both these games basically just a reskin and rebalance of each other. Almost every unit from Command & Conquer has been transferred to another game, and few of them changed faction. With the same concept, Red Alert seems a bit better, more fun, due to its campaigns with more detailed cutscenes. Command & Conquer is way too simple for my liking. And a few words about how does these games appeared. 1985, Las Vegas, Nevada, Westwood Studios was formed. The funniest thing that founders were not sure if they would make successful products. At first, they've named themselves Westwood Associates. According to Louis Castle, one of the founders, with such a name they could have get into other, more traditional business software if needed. We really liked the entertainment meets professional character of Westwood CA, and the attraction of the area to teens and young adults felt like a perfect fit for a new company specializing in entertainment software. Even back then, we recognized that it took a team of people to make great products, so we appended the associates to emphasize that aspect of product development. We were not really sure if we could make a go at game development, so the original name Westwood Associates also gave us the ability to get into more traditional business software if necessary. Still couldn't get it. How does the name Westwood Associates could attract teens and adults? To do this, they should have taken a name Fortnite. Long story short, for a couple of years they've been doing ports for systems like Commodore Amiga and Atari ST that gave them a chance to make their own games and grow as a company. In 1992 they've merged with Virgin Games. What can I say? They've done what's called a pro gamer move. After a few successful Command & Conquer games in 1998, they've been bought by EA. After a few years, in 2003, Westwood Studios has been shut down and reformed as EA Los Angeles. Surprisingly, after that, it's been a few good games actually. The Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth, Tiberium Wars, Medal of Honor Airborne, Red Alert 3 probably. For me personally, this studio became a former shadow of self. By the way, they were listed in Guinness World Records for selling more than 10 million copies of Command & Conquer worldwide. Always remember what they've taken from us. The first game of the famous series was Command & Conquer. It came out in 1995. The main gameplay mechanics were taken right from their previous game, Dune 2. This game established a dominance for RTS genre, and you could not argue with these numbers. It sold over 3 million copies and has numerous awards. Original Command & Conquer was the first game from the series that sold over 30 million copies by 2009. The plot is pretty simple. Events that we participate are happening in the alternative timeline, where in 1995 near River Tiber a meteor crashed. It brought an alien substance that scientists called Tiberium, named after its impact site. This substance could absorb and crystallize precious metals from the ground, but in the same way produces extremely toxic gases and radiation that is fatal to humans and animals. Here where's Brotherhood of Nod comes out. Kane, their leader, invests in the development of this technology in order to harvest and refine Tiberium crystals. It becomes way ahead of the other world, so he used these resources to gather an army of followers worldwide. By the beginning of the game, Tiberium has appeared across the planet, and Kane controls almost half of these crystals. Global Defense Initiative tries to stop him. If you take Nod's side, you will act as a terrorist. Eventually will destroy the White House, the British House of Parliament, or the Brandenburg Gate with hijacked GDI ion cannon. If you take GDI's side, you will destroy the main Kane's base in Sarajevo. The biggest problem of both campaigns that they are not entertaining at all. Cutscenes mostly consist of one character's monologue, missions are repetitive, and overall I liked, as I've said before, Red Alert way more. Talking of which, initially Red Alert universe was intended to be prequel to Command & Conquer. In campaigns we could notice a lot of references. Before Red Alert 3, players argued if Tiberium Saga is a continuation of one universe or it's just another timeline. Later EA decided these are two alternate universes. Red Alert is a more high-budget product, thus cutscenes looks way better. They are entertaining, have some sense, and overall game feels more fluid, if I could say so. 1.5 million copies of this game have been sold. Both of these games were great successful products. To establish it even further, a few DLCs have been released. It was a matter of time when thus the sequels would be made. But this is a topic for another video.